Welcome to Rancho Bernardo High School, where we are starting the first round of the postseason. It's the Broncos hosting Torrey Pines in our first round matchup. Here's your State Farm Game of the Week graphic. It looks like this. I cannot recall a time where these two teams have met in the postseason. We're going to talk more about that in a bit. In fact, it's been like years since they've even played one another. That's why we picked it as our State Farm Game of the Week. I am now joined by Strike Force head coach Mr. Bert Grossman. Bert, one of the leading opinion makers of our time. Welcome to Rancho Bernardo High School.
Thank you for having me again, Paul. It's a pleasure.
Let's get right down to it. Torrey Pines. Let's look at some video. Tell me something I don't know about them.
You know, they're down this year. I think they've been good for so long under Coach Gladnick. It's been the last 3 or 4 years where they seem to be in the top 4. This year, a little down rebuilding year. So a lot of people think it's the old Torrey Pines, but it's really not. They're a little down, so I think they're going to have trouble tonight, to be honest with you.
All right, well, let's not give it up that early.
I'm not going to.
Let's talk about Rancho Bernardo really quickly. What do you know about the Broncos?
I like Rancho Bernardo. They've won a lot of games. They lost to Vista last week or 2 weeks ago, and that was probably their first loss in a couple months. Great quarterback, great throwing team, a lot of offense, well coached.
All right, so with that said, let's introduce the third member of our pre-PR team, Mr. Don Norcross. Now, Bert, feel free to contribute from. I'm going to have to turn my back on you, but I have to hold.
Hey, Don.
For those who don't realize, we're using a little bit of a downsized set today because of the Veterans Day. No, not budget cuts.
I thought it was because the wall came down and we're all going to do. Look,
no,
we're going to celebrate with some Cold War equipment.
No.
In honor of the wall coming down, it's Cold War night.
The Veterans Day parade is Monday, and the set and the live truck associated with that are already stationed at their Veteran Day post. So, with that said, Don Norcross, one of the leading sportscasters and sports writers of our time. Don, let's go to the statistical information as it relates to this game. When have they ever played in the postseason?
You have to go back a little ways. How about 1995? And Tristan McCoy, he may have been on that Rancho Bernardo team, coached by Bill Christopher. So it's been a little while, but they know each other because they used to be in the Palomar League together. I think they last played in 2013. But in the postseason, 1995. That's a little while, 24 years.
That's a while back. So let's talk about some of the main players. RB led by the quarterback by the name of Zeke Payne.
He's a nice player. I watch PPR all the time. He's not huge. He's 6'1", but he's really solid, 200 pounds, so he can run the ball a little bit. This guy can wing it, man. I mean, he can throw the ball like 55, 60 yards. He's a very good quarterback.
And Torrey Pines, they run the wing tee for time immemorial, so you have to talk about the fullback, Helfrich, right?
Correct, Cale Helfrich. He's not Mac Bingham. Okay, Mac Bingham was the go-to guy last year, but there aren't that many Mac Binghams. He's a very good player. He's averaging about 6 yards per carry. If Rancho Bernardo doesn't come up and tackle as a gang, he could put a lot of yards up.
All right, let's just turn to the third member of our team who apparently is taking the night off. Bert, would you like to ask a question? Or do you want Don and I just to continue?
I mean, let me ask you, viewers. I was surprised, and to put a little distance there, the last time they played in the playoffs, the Chargers played in the Super Bowl, just so you know.
That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been. And I was still playing in the NFL.
Bobby Ross was the Chargers head coach. That's how long back
So Noah Morris was the quarterback coach. The quarterback here for a while, and there was kind of a quarterback controversy coming in with this guy. Did you see that? What was the deal with that?
I wasn't here for that. I didn't, cover Rancho Bernardo very much during that time. Obviously, Morris's father, I believe, was the offensive coordinator, and who knows, that may have created some issues. But I tell you what, Zeke Payne, he can wing it, and he can also tuck the ball and run. They're not hurting at that position at all.
Oh, not at all. I was at the Vista game and just totally impressed by that kid.
All right, well, that ends our little hen chat. We also are going to be at 19 playoff games tonight. The entire crew is out working. Those are our featured games of the night. Maddie Sinclair finds herself at La Costa Canyon again. Allison Edmonds is at Grossmont for an interesting northeast encounter. One of the games we're thinking about using in our State Farm Game of the Week moniker on is Oceanside at East Lake. Bert certainly would have liked that because he lives down the South Bay. And the sandwich game is Del Norte at Patrick Henry. We will have highlights from 19 games. The only game we're not making it to is the Kearney game at Palo Verde, I believe. Oh, by the way, We're also going to unveil our 2019 Silver Pigskin Fan Vote winner, the 7th young man to be sitting on our podium when it comes time for Gala December 5th aboard the USS Midway. All right, that's a quick look at the 445 pre-PR. We will continue in the 5 o'clock hour. From now, I send it back to my esteemed colleagues on the news desk.